Hey guys, sorry she was super chill and then all of a sudden she stood up. And I know why she did, but I was meditating and a lot of times I'll be, doing my humming or my chanting. Let me turn off the AC. And I suddenly, and y'all see me do this. Where's my sweater at? Go lay down. Come on. Y'all see me do this. I'll like just start kind of either clicking or channeling something in, and she will freak out when I do that. It's like she senses the energy here as well. So I'm gonna get my sweater real quick. Make sure that I got something covering me. Unless I start sweating, I try not to take it off. I get so hot whenever you're acting so weird today. She's usually really chill during the reading, so it's weird. How about Mandy is 8 months old now. She's my Great Dane mix, and she is a doll, but she's a puppy. And I forget that sometimes because she's like the size of a full-grown lab already. So, hello, I'm Val from Eternal Transformations Tarot. This is a night live. In my night lives, I would like to begin to discuss darker topics that are going to be for mostly adults. You want to say hi to everybody? Are you going to fall off? I feel like you're going to fall off. Don't fall on me. I tried to record a video the other day and she just fell right on top of me while I was reading. It was really funny. So, my night lives, I tend to discuss darker topics. And I have wine usually. I don't do this during the day, obviously. But sometimes for my night lives, I like to have a little bit of wine. This is going to be meant for those who it resonates with. It's very often that if you are already resonating with my channel, you're in my soul tribe. Whether you comment or not, it's very likely that you are at the same frequency as me. And I like to try to discuss that I'm not here to preach to you. They may be. When you hear me channel, you'll know. But a lot of times I'm going through what you are. And I've been doing some analyzing. I'm a Virgo, so I do a lot of analyzing. And I've been doing some analyzing recently. I don't like... Y'all help me out here. Let's see here. This thing is really bright. It was fine for the daytime, but I don't even know. Let's see. Whoa. Isn't this cool? You know, when they settle, they don't look that much different, but I think I like this one on my eyeballs the best. Okay. So for me, the more I analyze psychic abilities and mental illness, the more I come up with the chicken or the egg. For those who have had an extremely traumatic experiences in their lives, what are they called? ACEs, adverse childhood experiences as well. PTSD. Do those create downloads themselves? Do they open up a part of your brain? Because we all know that our brain is a living thing almost. It's like a neural pathways that are continuously forming themselves over and over. The scientific community is barely tapped into understanding the brain. Yet, they think that since they coined the term bipolar in 1980, we understand everything about bipolar disorder. They don't know anything about it. And the more people study bipolar disorder, the more that they link it to psychic abilities. Not everyone who has been diagnosed with bipolar disorder has psychic abilities. Not everyone who is psychic has bipolar disorder. Understand that. Someone commented earlier, something about if you think you're psychic, you must be crazy or something. And I think that's a quote. I don't think he was trying to be rude. I think he was trying to be funny, just trying to say this is the way society sees it, you know. The question is, can mental illness open or connect you to psychic abilities by giving you downloads? rerouting DNA, rerouting neural pathways? Number 2, or does mental illness indicate an inability, listen to this, an inability to integrate channeled energies? Does mental illness possibly does it indicate there's a possibility that that person may be unable or inadequate or not well enough informed in their environment to channel those energies appropriately? I've talked often about when you are tuning your energy in, it's like a radio frequency. You got to change the channel. Well, if you have psychic abilities and you don't know it, you've just always been this way, you thought something was wrong with you, because you're picking up energies not only from possibly another realm. Hey, don't chew on that blanket, okay? And then she licked it like I wasn't doing anything. She's like, you may be picking up on radio frequencies from another realm. Don't chew on that. Or from the energies that you are associating with at work, the people you hang out with. If you are a highly sensitive being, you're picking up on these energies and not knowing how to deal with them. In an Eastern culture, thank you. Sorry, I have a lot of spirit guides coming in. Ooh, night lives are always crazy. Kelly, Ryan O'Brien, my darling. Ah, I love you so much too. We always resonate. And I'm sorry, I'm going to go and say hi to people in a second. I just want to get out the initial channeling, and then we're going to really get into it. But I have to get this stuff out. They made me write stuff down, and when they do that, y'all know what that means. So, full moon tonight, when you are raised in an Eastern culture, especially one of tribal or very old religion, you are often cherished, protected, and treated such as your gift. Yet, and I wrote down a quote here from a shaman who was speaking of the Western culture's handling of people with psychic abilities. Okay? I wrote, this is by Malidoma Somé. He is a West African shaman of the ancient Dagara tradition. And he said, this is a quote, "In the Western civilization, we are not taught to acknowledge the existence of psychic phenomena, the spiritual world. In fact, psychic abilities are denigrated, which means like criticized in a negative way, are often denigrated when energies from spirit world emerge in a Western psyche. When energies from the spirit world emerge into a Western psyche, that individual is completely unequipped to integrate them or to recognize what is happening. The result can be truly terrifying." If someone were to... I'm serious. Stop chewing on that. My mom made that. My mother made that quilt. When someone is showing early signs of a highly sensitive being, a tribe would be ready to recognize that and train that person individual. They would recognize that and treat that person that was a gift, not something that is a stigma or something to be looked down on, something that is wrong with you. And that's where shame comes in. Shame for being different. Shame for not fitting into your cookie cutter box. When in other cultures and in other times, you may have been revered and shielded so that you could blossom into your gift. You would have trained under a shaman or a witch woman or a sorceress, a medicine woman. But now we put a stigma on it because in the last century, basically, in the last century to 140 years, they think they have psychology completely figured out. That is like a fart in the wind in the history of Earth. In the history of Gaia, of human beings, of conscious sentient beings on Earth, that is a fart in the wind. You may as well have said a nanosecond in your lifetime. That is how much that matters. They have put a label on it. They have said it's bad. They have said you need to take medication to stop it from happening. And I'm not saying that you need to get off medications. You should always, always, always listen to your doctor, but you should also have a spiritual guidance person, a counselor, if you are a spiritual being. If this is something you feel that you resonate, that is maybe connected to your spiritual growth and enlightenment, but that you were taught to push it down as you grew up, right? And when I say as you grew up, I don't just mean as a small child. I mean into your early adulthood. If that's something that you feel is trying to get out of you now and was always trying to get out of you, but you pushed it down. And then what happens when you push things down? Volcano. That pressure doesn't disappear. That pressure builds, and it builds, and it builds, and it will show itself in your life. And catastrophes and forms that can be possibly negative to get your attention, because you have pushed it down and the pressure has made it bigger than it should have been. But when you let it flow through you, it's a different story. That's a different world, a different life, a different dream. That is when you get to step into your destiny. It's amazing how quickly, though, you can heal these things with proper education, shunning ignorance. So, I'm going to shuffle a few cards, see what they want to say about this. I will say that I already shuffled the Isis deck, and this card came out. I haven't read it yet. And we'll read this one in a little bit. It says, the Lunar Queen, she of the Celestial Goddess. These are longer, so I usually only pull one. And I was just shuffling it to clear it, but this card buzzed so hard, there's no way I couldn't keep it. And, you know, it is the full moon, and you see that moon behind her. It's pretty powerful. A lot of times, thank you. A lot of times when we feel out of balance, highly sensitive, and we don't know how to channel that, we haven't been taught that. There are children in this world who have meditation as a part of their daily practice multiple times a day. And we call them the third world. Yeah, you can be in America and you can be first world, but trust me, that means you're a baby. Right? Tracy's sister. So happy you made it too. Y'all, I went to high school with Trace. Actually, not high school. I babysat that girl. I went to high school. Her best friend was my best friend's little sister's best friend. And then me and her, we bartended together. She's a cool chick. Never ending story. The victimization, right? When I speak of mental illness, I'm talking about depression that keeps cycling around and biting you in the butt. Self-destructive patterns. Addictive habits. A lot of people who are highly sensitive beings will drink alcohol and be like, oh, I feel like everybody else must feel now. Because a highly sensitive being always feels a part. Because they can immediately feel everybody's energy. It's very close to, if they were to go one-on-one with someone, a mind reading. But it's hard to explain. It's more of, I am feeling all of your energy and I am not channeling it through, blocking myself, choosing what energy to tune into, right? Like a radio station. Are you making the decision, or are you just letting it happen, right? Like we said earlier, like a fart in the wind. Are you just being, you have to understand when you shine, right? Everybody's seen The Shining. That's a scary way of looking at it. That is a way that psychic ability, and I'm not saying exactly, but psychic abilities could cause mental illness. Allowing just anything in. I know it can be terrifying. And I know it's really easy to get stuck in the cycle once you've gotten there. Talk to someone about it. Pull yourself outside of the situation. Talk to someone about it. Especially if you have people in your world who are spiritually inclined. I know it can be difficult when you don't. I want to read a little bit of the Lunar Queen. And then we're going to shuffle a few cards and see what Spirit wants to say. We got a lot of Spirit guides in here, y'all. Okay, Lunar Queen. I'm just going to read the first paragraph, I think. This is a good one. Maybe two. I forgot about this one. Lunar Queen. And tonight is the full moon. Are you ready? Are you ready for this new beginning? And when I say that, it's because this is such an important full moon to truly release old cycles. To learn how to live cyclically instead of saying, I'm at point A, I'm going to get to point B so I can get to point C. Stop thinking you're the one that's driving. Hello. Do you see that guy? Sorry. For those of you, okay, you might see an orb or two fly by, but when you live cyclically, when you step into this beautifulness with Spirit, that's when the magic starts. It's not all you, and it's not all God. Okay. The Lunar Queen. There is a deep feminine wisdom that recognizes the importance of cycles of rest and replenishment as essential balancing to our actions of power and demonstration. You are asked to allow this replenishment for yourself now, trusting that you are in a cycle of creation that is about to shift into a new phase. Release and enjoy the process without having to control it. Insistence on how your path will turn out is resistance to your path. Stop insisting that you know how it's going to be. What is the point of being here? Don't you want to be a little surprised? Understanding the cycles of creative power and flow. Sometimes it can be hard to let go of desire, to force, to control, to make things happen, to exert might and willpower to bring what you wish for into being by sheer determination, exertion, and force. Yet, the vast creative power of the feminine principle is in honoring and flowing with the cycles of activity and rest, of releasing force and surrendering into the perfection of what is happening right now, realizing that this actually brings us divine manifestation and creation more effortlessly and gracefully and to great effort. Co-creation. And higher power. Okay. I'm going to shuffle these. They're saying numerology. Where's my numerology cards? There they are. Okay, we'll pull some numerology cards and clarify on those. Man, that Lover's card's been coming out a lot. I think a lot. Woo, big choices right now. Big choices right now. I'm hearing a lot of you are saying, woo, woo. Self-love. Self-love, 61-7. Leadership, 81. 9. Spirit. 2 more. You'll resonate with one of these more than the other. It's just going to all feed together. This all bleeds together into the same path if you're resonating with this channel. Spirit. 2 more. I just heard, don't tell us how many more. Okay. 88, abundance. Abundance. If you put in the effort, they're saying. If you put in the effort, it's not all you, it's not all God. Spirit. Any more? Manifestation and coming out stuck to it is self-discipline. It's a lot of reds and pinks here. This is going to be you're coming out of a time of release, living cyclically, understanding that things are not always going to go on your timetable. There is a greater process at work here. Bottom of the deck, happy ending. It is all for a purpose. That's what they want you to know. It is all to bring you back around to where you're meant to be, how quickly you want to get there. If you have insistence on how that path is going to look, that A to B, it's going to take you a lot longer because they will get you back into cyclic. When you are cyclic, that's when you come around to your happy ending. Having communication with spirit. Having communication with universe, with God, with Gaia. Okay, I need a frequency shift. Everybody take a big old deep breath through your belly. Go on the vice versa tarot. Ooh, y'all got a song for us? Ooh, I had 2 different ones come in. That's never happened. I mean, I know a little bit of both of them, but not a lot of either. Okay, there's no way I can sing this one at all very well, but the point is to get our energy shift. And if they channel it in, it's there's something in the words. 25 years and my life is still trying to get up that great big hill of hope for a destination. Realized quickly when I knew I should, this world was made of a brotherhood of man. For whatever that means. I know she got a cute tush. And so I cry sometimes when I'm lying in bed just to get it all out, what's in my head, and I'm feeling a little peculiar. And so I wake in the morning and I step outside, take a deep breath, then I get real high and I scream to the top of my lungs, what's going on? Shame, shouldn't try you, couldn't step by you, open up more. Shame, 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 couldn't try you, couldn't step by you, open up more. Shame, shame, shame. I think this is a very interesting card. It's very much, listen, a train. It's very much looks like the rapture. Archangel Gabriel blowing his horn, saying it is time. Their nakedness says we're going back to innocence. But notice when we turn the card around, The only one who's okay with his innocence is the child. The only one that does not have preconceived notions of who he is. The man, the hunter, the woman holding the cosmic egg, the fertility. Is she only here to make babies? Is he only here to provide? Absolutely not. These are strengths of our divine feminine and masculine that we need to see within us. The division was brought here and shown in such an integral, face-punching way so that we could understand it within us. It had to be that obvious, apparently, for us to understand that within us we each have the drive, the go get it, the ball buster attitude, the aggression, the ability to direct energy where we want it to go. Within us, we all have the feminine, the creativity, the blossoming, the never-ending blossoming lotus. Just when you think you done created your masterpiece, just when you think this is as good as it gets, as bad as it gets, there's more, there's more, there's more. The ever-expanding lotus flower. The masterpiece of the divine feminine and the divine masculine is that when they come together, the masculine directs that, protects the feminine energy so that she can create in a beautiful way, allows her to be in her magical way exactly as she is. He allows her to create and he protects her. And I'm saying this within you as well, okay? Male or female. You have a piece of yourself that protects that creation. Don't shame that creation, that difference within you, by preconceived notions, negative self-talk. It's perfect and beautiful. And now is the time for it to rise. You may be having ideas that you've never had. Your perception of the world and yourself within you may be changing rapidly. Rapidly. There's a co-creation going on now. This leopard, the owl of wisdom, have created something completely new, completely different. Something that you don't think could ever come from either of them. This egg is way too big for the owl, and, you know, cats don't have eggs. Nor do eggs have spots. Something completely new. Something you cannot conceive of if you're willing to get fun comfortable. Co-create with universe. They're begging you. This is your divine partner. Begin here. This is your divine partner. Have courage and go the distance. No one promised you this to be easy. You came at the hardest time. And what an honor. What an honor that you're here. That you chose to be here now of all times. Abundance. Two cards that came out were these two. We'll move forward into those in just a second. Okay. Let's go back over here to self-love. Self-love, 7. Some consider it the perfect spiritual number. In this, I think it's interesting. We got the 6 of Cups. Now, many times this can mean someone coming back from your past, soulmates, twin flames. But with these two cards, and also here, now this means something new. I am feeling like for many of you, this self-love, especially that to do with ACEs, adverse childhood experiences, which we all have, okay? And looking at them, instead of in a negative way, right? We turn this card around, we see he's looking at them in a negative, he's not looking at them in a positive manner. Remembering the good about them is going to bring new love into your life because you love yourself. It is impossible to truly, truly love another being if you don't fully love yourself. Self-love is saying, if you want that divine partnership, I said the Lover's card's been coming out a lot. I feel like for many of you, they're either going to rekindle what you are already in, a marriage or a serious relationship, or you're going to be looking for what truly serves your soul. But there's some healing that needs to be done because some of you need to realize, change your story. Why, when you look back, is everything negative? When you know there was positive in your life. Everyone has positive and negative. The imbalance is sometimes unjust. I know this. But believe me when I say there is a reason for it, and there is positive back there. It did not happen to you. It happened for you. Do you believe that? What do you believe? What will you make of it? And do you love yourself? Are you in the meantime? Many people are in the meantime right now. My mom says the meantime because you're actually kind of mean. They're trying to guide you and clear this out for you. This self-love is highly important because you are going to be coming into a role of leadership for many of you. Now, again, you may have resonated with one of these cards more than the others. And some of these may be more of a story, and you can see where you're at in the storyboard. For many of you, you may have gone through the self-love thing, and now you're coming into the leadership role. You may be, and when I say leadership, this is not just the workplace. And in fact, in this way, it's likely going to be in a different setting. It's so funny, they just showed me this life purpose card on top. Counseling. You heal with kind words, wise advice, and an empathetic ear. You heal with kind words, wise advice, and an empathetic ear. Sometimes that is the leadership role you are taking amongst people. And you will notice people flocking to you, wanting your advice, wanting to talk to you, just wanting to vent to you. And half the time they are, yes, light workers. They're doing energy work and they don't even realize that you're doing energy work with them. And that's why many people, this is the title of the video, will feel drained and not know why. I used to bartend for a long time. Me and Tracy have bartended together before. And not all the time, but we usually tried to serve each other. We tried to stay in different spots. But we would co-bartend occasionally. And we both have talked about the fact that it can be highly draining. And a lot of empaths are drawn to bartending work because they have, you could call it a good ear, good way to read people. They know whenever somebody walks in that they're going to be trouble immediately. They know that when someone walks in, they're having a really bad night. Not many people come to a bar unless they're celebrating or they're having a horrible night, and people take on that energy, right? Think about when you go to parties, the energy you take on. Some of that's going to be due to your expectations of said event, whatever it is, versus what is the reality. There may be disappointment simply because you expected this and got that. But for many people, you're going to walk into a room and feel the energy of the room. And it's going to put you into a different mindset. For many of you, when the spirit realm has a message, they're channeling it in through to you. And you're picking up multiple different radio stations. And it's coming off as an imbalance in mood. Having many ideas and then very drained. Not knowing how to implicate all of these ideas because you're not channeling in the information properly. Many of you are being prepared for that leadership role. And believe me, the spirit realm knows that this is happening. This disassociation with the Western world and the old cultures, the old knowledge, the old teachings. And they're trying to bring that back. That's why you're getting meditation punched down your throat in every possible way, in every different avenue. Everywhere you go, you're going to hear about meditation, whether they're joking about it, they're making fun of it, or they are teaching it, or they are advising it. You're going to hear about it because spirit is channeling that to everyone, whether they are entertainers, whether they are mediums, whether they are just people. When the more that you think about meditation and you immediately feel just mad about it, or you're irritated by it, or you're sick of hearing it, the more you need to do it. They're setting you up. They're trying to put you from here, how you've usually been handling energy. Notice here how she sits upon a rock, and the waters are going insane around her. Notice how she is holding the power. She's blindfolded, yet she is not tied up. Fell off the couch. I knew she was going to fall off that couch, y'all. If you fall on my head again, I swear, that thing is big. You don't want her falling on your head. You okay? Oh, you poor thing. Oh, come here. Come here. Are you okay? Baby. Oh, it scared her. She did not like that. Oh, you poor thing. I love you. You'll be okay. Oh, my goodness. That scared me. Notice this woman. I know you're all right. You're all right. You sweet baby. I know. Notice how this woman is the only one that holds the power. Now, very powerful, considering this reading tonight, is how she holds within her arms the swords of the masculine and divine feminine energies within her. Even though things are completely, look at all of this insane stuff going on around her. Yet she sits here blindfolded. She clearly didn't blindfold herself, or did she? Maybe she didn't blindfold herself, but it's her fault for not taking that off, because who holds the power here? She's the only one. She sits on a high rock in a dry place. Now, here's what's interesting. Now she sits within herself. Now the waters sit calm before her. The moon is high and she draws upon its energy, as you will do tonight. Her hair sits calm. It is within you. Yes. And she is the one that is power over that safety. It is within you. If you have gifts, if you're attracted to this channel, you do. You do. They may not look traditional. You do. Just being born in this time period, you most likely do in some way. Are you letting them rule you? Or are you ruling them? Are you garnering the self-discipline to integrate these gifts? When you are ready to step into this and stop letting, here we see healthy conflict. And here we see, well, dudes, there's a volcano going off behind you and you're still fighting. You goofballs, get out of there, right? Get out of there. Goofball, what are you doing? Right? If you want to be like this, if you're, let me put it this way, if you're going through this, it's likely they're trying to teach you this. They would not be giving you this if they were not trying to teach you this in some way, shape, or form. So you must garner healthy. It's okay to be mad. It's okay to have feelings. It's okay to have conflict. And in fact, you don't want to be scared of conflict. That's this. You don't want to be over aggressive and ego driven. That is this. Yet, if you have healthy conflict within your own mind and with others, and you're willing to think before you react, you're willing to take power over your own destiny, you're willing to meditate, you're willing to garner and take responsibility for your own emotions and the energies that are filtering through you, you're willing to take responsibilities for your gifts, whatever they may be. Are you praying for gifts and then not taking responsibility for them, doing the work that it takes to harness them and protect them? Remember that praying is talking to God. Meditation is listening to God. Right? If you're willing to do this, you will be stepping into very soon 88, abundance, and manifestation. Okay? Now, when I say this, manifestation is not focusing on, I want this. So I'm just going to focus on an image of that. I'm going to put a picture of it up and I'm just going to pull it to me by force. No, that's you trying to force the universe into what you think is right again. Insistence on your path is resistance to your path. Think about why you want it. If you want that red convertible, what is it about that red convertible that you love? Put yourself in the energy of why you want it. If there's a certain way of life you see yourself in, start living that life now in the smallest way that you can. Ask yourself, if I want to be this type of woman, this type of man, what does this type of woman and man do every day when they wake up? Go through a whole day like that. When I wake up, what do I do? What does this person do? Give them a name if you want, and then integrate it. Be that person. Act as that person for a whole day. If you want to be rich, right? Would you be getting up and doing the exact same things you're doing today? No, you wouldn't. Would you be having a cup of tea in the morning? Do you daydream about having time to run and do this or that? Make the time and do those things, and you will start to see that reality blossom in front of you. You will start to create it with the beautiful mind of manifestation. It's not about pulling it to you. It's about being within it already. Clarifying cards. This came out earlier. Again, spirit handing it, whatever you want. We see this dude. Like, oh, thank you so much. Look at all of these options. And spirit's saying, you have all these options. Even if you feel like you're in a place right now where you think you don't have options. Where you think that, well, it's this or this. Okay, pick one or the other and watch new options open up. And then pick one or the other and watch new options and new options. But you got to start picking. You got to start stepping. It's not you. It's not all God. It's a cooperation. Right? Turn this card around into the reverse position. Now we see he's blind. Well, now this situation's changed a bit. It's like, hey, honey, what are you doing in a marsh? Who let you out of the castle without a buddy? Now you're stuck in a marsh and you can't even see spirit handing you all these opportunities. Some of you are here. Some of you are here. Some of you are blind to the fact that not only do you hold all the power, but spirit is handing you amazing opportunities. If you need help seeing this, where's your spiritual buddy? Be accountable. This came out earlier too. I think this is crazy. It also stands for manifestation and abundance. Here we see Pentacles not yet formed. Here we see, has he been dreaming of this as a child? Or is that his child watching him, learning from him, learning that daddy only dreams, but never does. Daddy only has all these dreams, but is he ever going to do anything about it? Yes, 8, absolutely, Caitlin. 8, 88. This is a time of manifestation and abundance if you want to step into it. It is truly your dream. It is your adventure. Or do you want to put in the work? They're saying they'll clear the path for you. They will calm the waters for you. They will give you options, but you have free will, my love. Are you willing to do the work? These cycles are here to show us this. These cycles of the moon are here to bring us back in and reset our path and say, whoa, where am I? Because we can let our ego drive for too long, to the point of high anxiety, mental illness, depression, psychosis, bipolar disorder, or manic depressive, ADD, ADHD. We have so many definitions, and I'm not saying that these things don't exist. I'm saying that we have recently, very recently, like literally within the last century and mostly within the last decades, started giving names to existences of psychic abilities that have been here for a long time. And these things, like we are going through cycles, have cycled up when the world needed them most. If you look back through history, you will see the appearance of more psychics during times of intense tragedy and turmoil within the world. You come here with that DNA ready to be activated. You come here. If you're here during this time, it is highly likely that you came here descending into a world that needed your help to ascend. You descended into a world. This is not easy. A very ancient soul, most likely, especially if you're attracted to my channel, into a world that needed help ascending. Okay. All right. Do we have any questions or comments about that? Anybody that's concerned or like has any questions they want to ask? Speechless. I'm glad that you guys were resonating. A lot of people resonating out there. That's awesome. That makes me happy. I really would love to pull cards tonight, but I generally try to plan that ahead because I get drained real quick doing that, and I really want to get some videos up tomorrow morning early and catch up on a few of those, and I have a lot of scheduling still to do tonight, so I'm not going to pull a lot of cards, Cece, but I did get, while you were talking, the 4 Cups and the 8 of Swords. You may be blinding yourself to something, and you may be, it may be time to change your story. There's a perception change that needs to happen, victimization, things that were not your fault, but you're still living in them. Okay. All right. The way that the spirit guides talk to me is, I'm sorry, I'm sweating. You all know how it gets when I channel. The way the spirit guides are when they, I don't even know how to explain it. It's definitely, there's my highest ability is claircognizant. And I get the general direction. Thank you so much, Kirsten Luna. Kirsten, was it you that had the dream about the bears? Or I'm sorry, the baby bear? The baby bear? Who had the dream about the baby bear? Are you here? Somebody had a dream about a baby bear. Freaky. Okay, did you see my mom? Okay, because at the beginning of my live this morning, for those of you that missed it, I said, you know, I don't know if y'all have been having intense dreams, but mine have been, you know, they may even not even seem to make sense, but they're intense anyway. You know, it's just very lucid dreaming. Anyway, I mentioned this morning during the live, I said I had a dream about a bear, and I didn't get into it because it was really powerful and it was very prominent. And I've had dreams about bears before. They're my kind of my spirit animal, but this has never happened. I had a dream about a baby bear. You know, it was a cute little baby bear, and I had to take care of it. And I was like, oh, this is new. It's usually protecting me. And it's like, now I have to protect this teeny tiny bear. And usually the bear stands for protection. And I'm here when you're going through this hard time, you know, and coming out of your cave. And now it's like, whoa, I have to protect this. Anyway, for me, that was crazy. And then my mom said right after I said I had a dream about a bear. Kirsten Luna said, I had a dream about baby bears. And I had a dream about a baby bear. So that's really crazy. So weird. Oh, that's so weird. Yeah, Kirsten, I'd like to hear more information about your dream. That's nuts. Your dreams have been crazy lately. Last night I had one with a spider in it. Spiders are so magical. I'm not sure if you're scared of spiders, but whether or not you are, they are truly a that's grandmother spirit. One of the oldest ways to tell you you're an old soul, you're an old spirit, and there's old wisdom coming to you. Okay. Spiders are here to guide you. You are, when when you're dreaming of spiders, you're in the flow. You're in the web. You're creating the web. You're tapping into, um, the web of the cosmic energy and higher thought. So that's really powerful. When you have dreams about spiders, you need to be meditating more because there's power there for you. Good. You should never ever kill. I try not to kill spiders too. I mean, especially like even if you've ever lived in anybody that's ever spider fear and spider hate is new because we don't farm anymore. But spiders were highly necessary, and the only pesticide we really had well, I say pesticide, but pest killers we really had for farming back in the day. So spiders were revered. Sierra Night Alim Clicky. Thank you. I can't do it when I'm not channeling it, but it would be cool if he came in. I actually haven't seen him in about 2 or 3 weeks. I say him, I don't know. It feels like a male energy. But it's whatever. Y'all would have had to been here for the channeling night when I started clicking. That was fun. Yeah, this guy keeps wanting to show himself. Make sure that you're realizing the choices you truly do have, you guys. Spirit is, this is the truth. This is the reality. Are you allowing your reality to be here? Okay. Getting back to the title of the video, remembering that depression, anxiety, these are symptoms, right? These are symptoms. Divine Priestess. Peace and abundance. Much love, much God. Thank you so much. For everybody that's donating here, please make sure that you are sending me an email. This is the one place that I can't transfer them to my Excel spreadsheet. And if you donate to my channel in the month of April, you get added to my new moon and full moon ritual. I'm starting my full moon ritual at 11 p.m. tonight Central. So anything that you've sent me, make sure you've sent me your manifestation along with it. So if you've donated to my PayPal, the other day I said Snapchat and PayPal. I meant Super Chat and PayPal. But, or the links that are in my description box below, you can just add what I want to manifest and what I want to release. And you will be included in both rituals for that month, okay? For anybody that donates to my channel. If you donate here on Super Chat, and there's so many of you that do it regularly, please at least send me one email a month. Most of you have a folder already. And I put it in there. I only need the one time of what you want to have, unless you want to add to it. And then what I do is I speak that during my ritual. Often I begin my ritual is usually going to begin in Latin, and I have a very, very specific ritual I do that I have made with spirit guides. It's intense and it's private, but at the same time, for those of you who give to me, I have to give back that energy. It's so important to me. Okay. So when I went outside earlier, I saw a cardinal and trying to entice its mate, and then another dude came up and he started getting all masculine with him and like got pretty serious for a minute. One of them ran into the window next door and it broke the window. But there's going to be a lot of divine masculine and divine feminine healing coming up within you. Okay. But it's also going to be something you're seeing in the outside world. I want you guys to be prepared for that energy merge. This is the goal. This is the unity goal that they're looking at. And it's going to have to start here. If you're not balanced within yourself, you cannot add balance to the world. You're only adding fragmented frequency, and nobody needs that right now. We are already in enough anxiety and fear. Right now, we need to be healing ourselves. I do so many, thank you. I have a spirit guide here reminding me. I have all these readings I do, and people are constantly telling me how they don't have time for meditation. They don't have time for yoga. They don't have time for breath work. They don't have time for doing the things they love, their hobbies, their music, their whatever it is, their writing. They don't have time to do these things that bring them into balance. Life is too crazy. I have the kids, I have the job, I have the life, I have the this and that. First of all, everybody has got an hour a day for themselves. But because people have been feeling this, we have literally manifested this isolation. I truly believe that a big part of our human culture has manifested this isolation because we could not get a second of quiet in here. Now you can actually sit outside and not hear the constant planes and train. Well, the trains are still going actually, but the constant planes and cars and everything. I live near a highway and an airport. So I feel like sometimes like my ears are going to burst with just, it's not even loud. It's just constant noise. And there's silence in the world again. I looked outside today and I saw a possum, a raccoon, cardinals, and cats even running around. And I live in a busy part of small town, but a busy part of my small town, you know, where there's, I live on a throughway, a through traffic area. And here come these animals coming back into habitat. Like, what's going on? Are we going to get pounced at any minute? They're coming out like, look at this. You can run in the middle of the road. I saw a possum running in the middle of the road today, and I live on a road that has constant cars on it. There's no trash on it. It's a very clean road. You would never see that here. So we have to allow this to happen, and we have to appreciate the cycle of it, right? As I said earlier, we are not living A, B, C. This is exactly how it's going to go. We are living cyclically. And Gaia and higher power, God, universe, spirit, is going to teach us that so that we can begin the process of true co-creation, because we have magic waiting for us here. But we must learn to co-create with spirit. We must learn the only way to do that, yes, to go with the flow and live cyclically. To go with the flow, yet stay grounded in who you are, right? That is the beautiful balance of the feminine going with the flow and the masculine staying grounded. These two must both happen to co-create, both within you and outside of you. I feel very sad that our Western culture does not have more spiritual centers for the mentally ill. You have to pay thousands of dollars to go get help from a spiritual center or a shaman, you know, rather than go to either jail or a psych ward and be drugged up until they deem you drugged up enough to release, right? And I'm not saying that mental health professionals don't have a lot to offer. They do. They do. I'm just saying that there should be more co-creation there, right? There should be more co-creation there, and we must speak out about that. We must speak out about that. There should be a co-creation of mental health professionals and spiritual psychological counselors coming together, right? And I'm seeing it happen more and more. I'm seeing more and more psychologists and scientists begin to, if not admit it into a journal, admit it to my face. You know, I have plenty of doctors. Whew, that was a fast one. I have plenty of doctors who have told me that marijuana is way better than, yeah, if you can get that stuff, you know, do that, don't do this. But they would never write that as a prescription. I have plenty of psychologists that say meditation and certain practices are going to get you a lot further than drugs, but they don't make money on that. And they got to pay their bills too. You know, it's a shit rolls uphill kind of thing. And that's really unfortunate. That's really unfortunate. Our society has created a shit rolls uphill problem. And we need to, I'm sorry, a shit rolls downhill problem. And we need to make that shit roll uphill. It starts at the top. It starts at the top. And they're just building up shit and letting it roll down in our faces. Right? It starts with the pharmaceutical company. We all know this. I'm not going to get too far into that. We know this. We know this. We do nothing about it. Man, do y'all see them shooting through here, or is that just me? Everybody seeing them? It's nuts. We have to start doing something about it. Right? Things are going to be changing. Things are going to be changing really fast. And even though it may not look like it when you're in it, in the eye of the storm, right? That's where we are right now. We are in the eye of the storm, where it's like nothing is moving. You go outside and it's almost freakishly silent, right? Yet there's a storm going on all around you, and you're waiting for it to move and hit you. Right? Kratom. Yeah, I've used Kratom before. It helped me for a while. We're in the eye. This is not the peak, the insanity. This is what's setting the stage for what's to come. It's a big shift. It is a conscious earthquake to shake up the consciousness of people, to pull them out of that linear pattern, bring them back in so that they can relearn how to live cyclically. Right? So, if you are suffering from depressions, anxieties, if you suffer from something more serious such as bipolar disorder, certain types of psychosis, borderline personality disorder, oftentimes I feel that these can be also connected to psychic abilities that were not nurtured properly. So oftentimes it's not that the psychic ability itself caused the mental illness. It was the lack of nurturing said psychic ability that created a scar tissue around the brain, a scar tissue around that mental illness, a stigma around it, a shame, right? Which distorts reality. Because here you are saying, I feel this, I feel like I know this, yet the world is telling me I'm wrong. Surround yourself with people who are spiritually inclined, who will be honest with you, yet listen to you. They don't want to just preach to you. Do your research. And most importantly, you must meditate. And I know everybody's sick of hearing that, but we have manifested the time to do so. And we must also have compassion during this time and remember that we are not going to be experiencing it in the same way. There will be people thriving during this time, and there will be people falling during this time. And that doesn't have anything to do with the person themselves, okay? Please understand, there's going to be certain jobs that are going to fall to the wayside and businesses that are going to go under, right? And that are going to struggle heavily. There are certain areas that are going to do worse, and certain areas that are going to do better during this time. It's so frustrating. Let's remember, though, not to judge what other people are going through by what we're going through. Okay? Do the best with what you are given. Do the best with what you're giving. And anything left over, try to help those you can right now. I said in a few videos ago, this is a double point system right now. Everything you give back, everything you teach is going to be highly rewarded because they are looking for teachers right now. They are looking, they are looking for leaders. Think of the dates. Passover tomorrow, Good Friday, full moon tonight, Easter Sunday. Do you want to join the rapture? It's a beautiful thing. It's not a scary thing. It's a beautiful thing. It's stepping into the new world, the new energy, the new order. But it will take self-discipline and work from you. Be fair to your fellow man. And be ready to co-create. Be ready for this unity. Be ready. You can't be selfish in co-creation. Be ready for this new passion. Something new. Okay, guys, let's close it out. Whew. Tomorrow's channeling, tomorrow at some point, we're going to be talking about death. That keeps channeling in. It's very interesting channeling. Not what you're thinking. Persevere right now. This is the year. Perseverance. Everything you're doing now, everything you're doing in 2020 is setting the stage for your harvest in the next few decades. For what path you will be taking the next few decades. I'm not saying that this decides your whole future, but everything you're doing now is like the tipping of the wheel. Like it's really setting the foundation. Do you want a solid foundation? Do you want a solid foundation? Or are you going to build one faulty and have that tower knocked down, right? Yes. Thank you so much. I don't know what you're talking about charging, but everybody take off all jewelry tonight. Put all your crystals outside. Full moon, it charges them, clears them, and charges them, okay? I even put my cards outside if it's not wet or anything. It's a bit humid tonight. I don't think I'm going to do that, but I might put them in my box. I might put them in my box and put my box outside. The energy effects will still go through. But any kind of jewelry, that especially like wedding rings, you guys wear those all the time, and you mess with them and you fiddle with them. Charge them. No one's going to steal it if it's sitting on your windowsill in the backyard under the moonlight or wherever you have a spot for it. I leave mine right on the front porch, and I live on a busy road. Nobody's ever come up on my porch, but you've seen my dog. She looks nice right now, but she can be pretty scary when she wants to get there. You want to say bye-bye? You want to say bye-bye? She's like, no. Okay, you guys, what do they say? What do the spirit guides say? They say, don't waste your hate. Rather gather and create. Be of service. Be a sensible person. Use your words. No, don't be nervous. You can do this. You've got purpose. Find your medicine and use it. Don't forget to wish upon a star, soul tribe. It's very powerful. Look at the moon tonight. Take a moment. Even if you can't see it, go outside and look up anyway and make a wish. I'm manifesting healing for you. Growth as always. Find your fire. Look at these two queens. Go within tonight. Find your passion and your psychic abilities. Merge these two. Don't let them be at a difference. Okay? Oh, thank you so much, Madison, my love. Okay. Like and subscribe. It's like tipping. Support a sister. Catch you on the flip side. I'll see you guys tomorrow.